Recognizes Ms. Stansbury from New Mexico.
All right. Well, good morning, everyone. I just want to take a moment to decompress after that. And I do want to just take a moment of personal privilege for our witnesses and for the members of the public who are here today to apologize for the behavior of my colleagues, for the disrespectful language that has been deployed, for the personal assaults on your character and professionalism. We know that you are representing the people of this city and doing an excellent job, and we support you.
Thank you.
Now, I want to turn to where the ranking member went at the beginning of this hearing and talk about the real crime wave here in DC. I think it's very demonstrable, and the data shows that the largest crime wave that we've had over the last 9 months began on January 20th. And the epicenter of that crime wave, one might call it a white collar, or in this case, an orange collar crime wave, is the White House. Because we have seen a slew of illegal firings that have resulted in millions of Americans being without vital programs, the withholding of millions of dollars of funds, violations of the Constitution, rule of law, separation of powers, due process rights, illegal arrests, illegal deportations, hundreds of lawsuits, grift that's resulted in billions of dollars in crypto schemes lining the pockets of the president and his family, government contracts to his friends, and an epic cover-up of the largest known sex trafficking scandal in American history, with the director of the FBI lying under oath in this chamber just yesterday. And I just want to say this, that it is a felony under the U.S. Code to lie under oath in front of Congress. So if you want to talk about crime in D.C., then look no further than your own damn hearings. Let's talk about that. That's the real crime wave. Now, Mr. Jackson, I really appreciate you bringing forward as part of this discussion this morning the impact that it's had on real people in the community. Because I think for people who do not live in Washington, D.C., who have never stepped foot in front of City Hall, gone to a city council meeting, have never met with the mayor in her chambers, have never talked to the people of Washington, D.C., they don't understand how this is impacting the communities who live here, of having this occupation in their midst. And this is not about public safety. You know, last week we heard our colleagues accusing us of not wanting to solve crimes, not wanting to address public safety issues. I mean, I'm trying to swear less, but that's just total bullshit. I mean, that's just a lie. That's just not true. We care a lot about addressing public safety. It's one of our top priorities. But that's not really what this is about, because if this was really about addressing public safety, you wouldn't have had the vice president and Stephen Miller walking into Union Station, making fun of, deriding, and putting down the people of D.C. while they're deploying National Guardsmen from across the South to stand on street corners to talk to their friends and be on their iPhones all day. I mean, I want to be real. Like, this is not law enforcement. I come from a veteran family. I support our law enforcement. I support our military. But this is not about law enforcement. And if you talk to any cop on the DC streets right now, you know, thank them for their service. Because in addition to actually dealing with real crime on the streets as trained law enforcement professionals, they had to spend the last month dealing with the bullshit of the Trump administration and a bunch of people who are standing around in the way of them actually doing their jobs. So if this administration actually wants to address public safety issues, stop holding the city of Washington, D.C. hostage. Now, this is just exhausting to listen to this all day. And so I would love to hear from you, Mr. Jackson. You've shared already this morning. With my remaining time, I would love to hear from you what you think Congress can do to help support the communities that you work with in D.C.
Just first of all, it's devastating what's happening in our communities. The first day of the DC takeover, we had to go into our communities and teach young people how to navigate law enforcement when their rights might be violated. Instead of teaching them about going to school and studying math and playing sports, they're trying to figure out how to navigate masked agents raiding their neighborhoods multiple times a day. Elderly folks that are getting arrested for petty crimes 55 and plus, are now coming to us and saying, what can I do when these masked agents run into my neighborhood? And that's not how we solve crime. We don't scare and incarcerate our way out of this issue. We tried that in the 90s. It failed. The way that we address a public health crisis is we invest in prevention strategies. We look upstream to keep guns from pouring into our communities. 95% of guns in this city come from outside of the district. We only have one gun store, but yet the FBI director is bragging about apprehending guns in D.C. while President Trump's son is literally profiting with the smart gun company. And so what we really need in this moment is for federal government to do its job to keep guns from getting into our communities by cutting down on gun traffickers, by going after rogue gun dealers, by holding the gun manufacturers accountable, and being tough on crime, specifically on those who are profiting off of the pain and death in our neighborhoods.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson.
Time's expired. Chair